Hello! Hi guys! Welcome back to One Man's Junk. Okay guys, we got a lovely little episode lined up for you today. Got some really, truly spectacular finds of the day. I cannot emphasize enough how great these finds are. Wait and see. But of course, just before we do that, we're going to rip open some mint on cards. Unfortunately, I'm still waiting on a few mint on cards arriving in the mail. I've got my Scareglow pre-order. Still not arrived yet. It's a little late, but not to worry. We'll have it for next time. But for this episode, we do have... I've got this here. It's a Woody Hatch-n Heroes. So Hatch-n Heroes. And of course, this is the classic Bandai Tamagora. They're keeping it going, so it is still Bandai, but these are the Toy Story ones. I have mentioned it before. And I got this guy here too. I won't be ripping him open though. I do actually have a few loose ones, which I'll show you with my action figure identification, because we'll give you a nice close-up. But these, of course, are from Sucklord. They are Suckle, which is a little, poke of fun here at the old Muscle Toys here. It's simply unimportant, collectible, kitschy little eyesores. And, of course, this is my favorite one, which was, of course, Asswipe. And he is literally a roll of toilet paper with legs. So he's really cool. But I did mention this Hatch-n Heroes. I said I'd mentioned it before. Well, that's because I've still got my Buzz Lightyear one here. So I found this one at the flea market. And, well, it saves me having to order it online. Especially at the price. It was only $5. So definitely a steal. Let's open it up. Let's see what we got. Okay, so initial impressions, I do prefer the Buzz Lightyear one because it is kind of more of an egg. This is like an egg shape, so yeah, so far I'm not too impressed, but let's transform him. There you go. I mean, he's kind of cool, but he does kind of look like, looks like that Ben 10 character, Hopper. He's like the grasshopper. So, I don't know, but yeah, for $5 I can't complain. Let's compare him next to Buzz. Well, here you go. I don't think there's any contest. The Buzz Lightyear is definitely a much better, more thought put into it toy over the Woody. I mean, I'm happy to have him in my collection, happy to have the pair, but yeah, I'm not that impressed. Welcome back to action figure identification. Alright, and here's a nice, easy one. Those who are familiar with the line, of course, will know straight away. Those of you who aren't will not. This was packaged with LJN Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, and actually this is one of the harder to come by accessories. This was packaged with Series 2 Bowmark. Here's one that's really good. It's not terribly rare, but certainly very useful and very desirable. It's got a cool little pattern on it. It's made out of a thin, cheaper plastic, and it was in fact packaged with a Masters of the Universe knockoff, and it's from Galaxy Fighters from Suko. Galaxy Warriors, while a lot of the figures are similar, they did not use the same style of shield, so we know that it's definitely Galaxy Fighters. Alright, so I did mention in my unboxing segment that I would have some loose ass wipes, and well, here we go. So as I said, it basically is just a roll of toilet paper. There you go, and it's got Boba Fett sitting on the old porcelain throne here. And it is, like I said, it is basically just a roll of toilet paper with legs minifigure. So really cool. I already had the translucent one here, and I picked up these other two. So I've got a little army building here. Especially if another lockdown's coming along, they will certainly come in useful. And yes, it's these guys again. So I've certainly mentioned them before. I'm always looking for them, as long as they're cheap, of course, to add to my army. These are, of course, from Arco Otherworld. These are the companion figures that were packaged with the majority of figures. Also came with a few playsets as well. And they have a rather unfortunate name. They are Gyps and Mogs, which is certainly something you would take offense to if somebody called you that on a drunken night out. Here's two lovely pieces. So they're the same color scheme and they are in fact from the same series. I was very, very fortunate to pick these out of a box, or should I say a dig bin. Yes, they're both Remco. Yes, they're both Crystar. But this one here, this one was packaged with Crystar as well as a few vehicles. But this one is really cool. This was packaged only with Feldspar. So that's definitely a really good little piece. Here's a really cool one. And I know you may find it hard to believe. I find it hard to believe. But this is actually the very first one that I've owned. This was packaged with Jurassic Park T-Rex from the Lost World. Okay, and finally, this one here has every right to have a claim or a place in Finds of the Day. The only reason I didn't do so is because I wanted you to see it in all its glory. It's a piece I've been hunting down for well over a year. It's a piece that is very hard to come by. It fetches a pretty penny on the toy market. And well, let me show you who it belongs to. That's right, it is in fact the cape or cloak for Filmation Ghostbusters Prime Evil. What a spectacular find. This cloth cape is really, really hard to come by, and especially in this condition. Absolutely delighted. It's that time again, guys. It's time for Finds of the Day. Okay guys, so my first find of the day is something really cool. It's one of my favorite lines. It's of course from Remco. It's none other than Conan, but it's not this fella here, this Thoth Amon. This is one of my, or should I say this is my only Conan piece that is currently in my collection. Well, I was lucky enough to pick up Conan the Barbarian himself. So as you can see here, he's got this really cool lion pelt across his chest. I'm only missing the sword, but he does have the dagger and the dagger holder. This is a really hard figure to come by. And of course, I know I've mentioned it a few times, but this series here, it's really hard to come by, really well made. And it does contain my grail figure, which of course is the Jewel Thief. So as yet, I've still not been able to track one down, but I will get one. You wait and see, I will find one. Now you may or may not be aware, but my persona on Facebook is none other than MOTU Mike. And of course, this wouldn't be an episode of One Man's Junk without some said MOTU. And here it is. I was lucky enough to pick one up from a good friend of mine. He saw it, he bought it because he knew I would want it, and I did, and I do. And I don't actually have it in the collection, so I'm really happy to add this. This is HG Toys. This is a He-Man. It's a bank, so it's really cool here. It's still got the bottom piece. That's great, and it's really quite interesting just because, as you can see here, it's very like 3D. You can see the muscle sculpts, all the features, but on the back it's flat. And the best thing about the back is there's actually hairlines, and you can still see there's some muscle lines drawn in. So it is flat up against the wall, but it's still got all these details here. So that's definitely a really cool piece. Okay, and here's another really cool knockoff MOTU line. This is, of course, the Nightmare Warriors. So this is my current collection. These two here, we've got Sir Lancelot, and I believe the other is just a Roman legionnaire. I may have mentioned them before. As you can see, this scale is very similar to the Remco, the MOTU figures. They are skeleton figures, and best of all, they do, of course, glow in the dark. It's actually a very tricky line to pick up. They're very, very expensive. They're very rare. They are vintage. It's from 1987. They're from Multi-Toy Corporation, MTC. But like I said, they don't come up too often. This is my current collection. Check this out. I got this fella here. I can't remember his name. We're just going to call him Major Bones. Maybe that is the name. But he is in really nice condition. He's got nice stiff limbs here. And his glow paint is hardly touched at all. So that's definitely a lovely addition, but there's more. Here we go. I think this is Captain Kidd, And as you can see here, he does have loose limbs, he does have a bit of paint wear, but he does still have his hat, which does tend to come off, and it's very common to see it with the hat missing, and even more so it's got his little ribbon here. That, as you can imagine, is really hard to come by, and it's time for my absolute favorite find here. So this one here is a little pickup. It was on Facebook. Somebody posted an advert. It was up for about 5 to 10 minutes before I spotted it. I've been hunting this figure for quite a while, and I am beyond delighted to add him to my collection at a very reasonable price. No, it's not Jewel Thief, but it's something just as good. Is it a skeleton guy? Yeah, I'm afraid it's another skeleton guy. Is it a Master Universe knockoff? It is that too. Have you guessed what it is yet? Alright, I'll show you. Okay, so here he is. Nah, I'm only kidding. This is the one I actually found in the wild for $1 that unfortunately is missing the pieces. This should look like this. How great is that? So this here, guys, this is Skull Force. It's from the 90s, so early 90s, not 80s like these guys here. He's very hard to come by. It was a limited series. You only had this one here and one identical, but instead of red paint on the face, it was green paint. Comes with very common knockoff kind of weapons, accessories, but certainly a great little figure. He's made in the exact same style as all the other KOs, like your Galaxy Warriors, your Galaxy Fighters, all the other wrestlers from the era. Guys, as always, a huge thank you to all my subscribers and fans. Please, if you haven't already, make sure to share the video. Let's try and get some more subscribers, get the channel really up and going. If you don't already tune in, make sure to catch me every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We are live on Facebook in the BOD Toys for Suckers. I do One Man's Junk in the John. If you don't know what the John is, write me a message. I'll be happy to tell you all about it. But again, a huge thank you. And again, thank you to Frankenculture for promoting the channel. We sincerely appreciate it. Guys, thanks so much. See ya. Bye now. Bye.